Hello friends, and welcome to a special Cichlids and Suds, the Wednesday evening version of Cichlids and Coffee. Thank you for showing up, folks. I know this was absolutely last minute. I was just sitting around. I thought, you know, I gotta say thanks to a couple folks. I can't wait till Saturday. I gotta get it out, and so. And at any rate, I hope you're having your favorite beverage. And before you lose your mind, this is not beer with ice in it, which I imagine some people might do, but I wouldn't. This is actually a sugar-free Virgil's root beer. I am on a low-carb, low-sugar approach to eating, and that started just recently, along with a little bit of fasting, and so it's making life very interesting. Hey, Denny and Mary in the house. Thank you, my friend, for showing up. He will be doing some of the moderating tonight, so watch yourself. So how are y'all doing? Hope you're doing well. How's the AV in the comments? And we have, what do we got? Pony Girl. Hey, Pony Girl. You know, I used to do something a while back. The first person on the chat used to get stickers. Now, Pony Girl, if you would like some stickers, some channel stickers, I don't know how many I have left, but I can always order some more and get you some. Send me your mailing address, your full name and mailing address to ben.o.cichlid, ben.o.cichlid@gmail. I'll get you some stickers for being the first one on the chat. I appreciate that. And who else do we have? Hey, Peas and Haps Forever, Bronx Bomber, and let's see, Country Strong and Free. Hello, buddy. And Daily Dose and Giro. That's interesting. Is that Giro or Gyro? And let's see here. Now, I'm being told by YouTube that we're having some broadcasting issues. Let me know if that's the case, if it's slowing down on your end. All right. Are we back on live here? Did I lose some of you folks? If I lose you, I wonder if this is the time of day is making it a little bit more difficult. This is what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going to do. If you can still hear me, I'm going to go ahead and log off and log back on. So hold on. Let me go ahead and restart this. Okay, can you folks hear me or see me? It looks like there's a problem occurring here on the broadcast. Let me know if you can see me. Salient, you can see me okay? You can hear me okay? Hey, Excali Kev in the house. AV is good. Cichlid Kings. Okay, good. Okay. I don't know what was going on. It was like I'm getting a weird message from YouTube telling me there's something going on with the stream, which doesn't make any sense because it's the same as it always is. And let's see here. Anyway, if you can hear me okay now and see me okay now, we're good to go. So I just wanted to, I just had this sort of excitement inside of me that needed to get expressed. And so I decided to go ahead and just do this last minute live stream. And I'm just really happy to see folks on it because I know it wasn't promoted, and really I didn't know I was going to be doing it until about 20 minutes before the stream. For those of you that came on late, I am drinking a sugar-free root beer. This is not iced coffee or iced beer. Please don't panic. It's all about the diet I'm on. So let's see here. Was buffering a little, Ben, but seems okay. Daily dose of Giro. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. Peas and Haps is lurking while eating dinner. Okay. All right. So one of the things I'm probably the most proud about or happiest about is the fact that the channel grew. It grew, and it grew based on organic. It was like an organic growth. In other words, I didn't. It wasn't like I had a major partnership. Even though I did have a version of that when I, shortly after arriving here in Nashville, and of course I'm talking about the Cichlid Shack, who has been a tremendous help in this expansion. But prior to that, it was really just putting out content, and it's nothing wrong with people who get into partnerships and hook up with major corporations and have them sort of become a promotional piece for that corporation. There's nothing wrong with that. It's actually kind of a cool gig if you can get it. But the growth of this channel was just really based on me getting out videos about taking care of fish and you folks responding to it. And I think, in my mind, I really like that we got to that point. Now, that being said, that could possibly change. I am in, as you know, I work with the Cichlid Shack. They send me some fish. They've helped me out with tanks and things of that nature. I consider them a bit of a channel sponsor. I am an affiliate with the Aquarium Co-op now. So when I do a co-op product video, whether I end up liking it or not, I'm not going to taint necessarily what I say, but if people end up buying it off of the link that I provide, then the channel will get some credit. So there's that arrangement. And I've got to thank people like Expertmatic, Unique Underwater Galleries, the now gone friends at Elite Cichlids who made those wonderful plants for me. Higer / Aqua, AQQA. They helped me a lot to get going, get the show on the road. And so, I've had a lot of help along the way. And now I'm getting a tremendous assistance from both the Shack and also from the Aquarium Co-op. And I also have a lot of willingness from people like Higer and Expertmatic and folks like that who I can reach out to, and they'll help me out if I need it. And by that, what I mean, let's say I want to do a live stream and I want to give away some stuff, just like once a year, I like to do a live stream where I just give stuff away. There's some folks that I know that if I contact them, they're just going to say, yes, sign me up. Expertmatic is one of them. Certainly the Shack, certainly Aquarium Co-op, folks like that. So I've really gotten some good friends along the way, some great help. And I also have to shout out to my moderators who show up at the live stream very often on very short notice. Cichlid Kings, Denny, Sailing Aquatics, my resident artist. So a big shout out to them. And probably the biggest shout out is to you, you, the viewers, you, the folks that watch my videos and sometimes make it to the live stream. Sometimes you don't, that's okay. But you watch the videos, you like them, you comment, and you subscribe, and that you're the core of the channel. And I feel extremely blessed to have broken 50,000 and to be and encouraged to continue to provide you folks with content, with video content, with and now I'm getting into these shorts. I don't know if you like these shorts or not, but they're kind of fun, little short videos that I put out every now and then. But thank you, Cat Sailor. I appreciate that. Very nice of you to say that. And so let's take a look at the chat here and see what you folks have on your mind. I thank you to all of you who have made good comments about the congratulation comments. Thank you so much. Daily Dose, Paul Newman, all of you, really. Thank you so much for that. And so where do we go from here? I mean, do we go to, do we shoot for 100K? Do you think 100K is possible? That would mean doing what took me about 4 years, maybe 5 or 6 years to get to double it. I mean, that you would think once you get up to a high level, you can start building some momentum. So I don't know. What do you think? Do you think 100,000 is possible? Do you think that could happen? I mean, that would be kind of a game changer to get that special YouTube. They send you a big plaque if you hit 100,000. At 50,000, they don't really say anything. It's just, hey, you hit a milestone. They post it on your analytics, your information page. Congratulations, you hit a milestone, 50,000, and also 10 million views. Congratulations, you hit another milestone, blah, blah, blah. But you get the big plaque when you hit 100,000. But at any rate, let me know what you folks think the future is going to be like, and probably more importantly, tell me what direction would you like to see the channel go in? Would you like to see more fish profiles, more product evaluations, right? Like introducing you to new products. Do you want to see general maintenance and aquarium maintenance videos? What's the direction that you would like to see the channel to go in? What are the kind of things that interest you and that you enjoy the most from this channel? Why don't you go ahead and comment that? I'd like to know. I mean, I enjoy doing a little bit of all of it. And hey, KG in the house. Glad you're here, my friend. And and John says 50K is just the start. Cichlid Kings. I really hope so. Davey Larson, I'd love to see product videos. Okay. And I've got a big product video coming up, right? We have that generator that was sent to me, and this is like a real big league generator. I can't remember if I think it's 3,000 watts. So it can run 3,000 watts for, I'll get all the details on it, but I imagine it must be at least 5 hours. So if you have a power outage or a blackout, I can plug my pumps, all my pumps into it. I have air pumps that have lithium batteries, so I'll always be getting some surface tension breakup. And one of the things that I would suggest that if you live anywhere where blackouts are a possibility, get some lithium battery, lithium battery air pumps. I know the Aquarium Co-op has them now. I think Higer has one, a lithium one. Cobalt has one, and the Cobalt one runs for 3 days. 3 days. So I have it plugged in. It has a USB plug, and it comes in really handy if you're going to transfer some fish somewhere, and you can just run an air stone inside the bucket if you want to take like the fish on a long ride somewhere to a fish store or something. So the definitely have one of those in there because you want that surface tension breakup in the event of a blackout. I think the thing that really harms the fish in blackouts is a lack of oxygen. Now that's what I think. I haven't done the science on it, but I think an oxygen depletion is probably the biggest issue the fish run into. A gradual change in temperature, a lack of filtration. They can tolerate that. I mean, they get shipped from around the world in bags. So, but I think if you have a well-stocked tank with big fish that need lots of oxygen, your biggest problem you're going to run into is no breakup of the surface. And so definitely get yourself some pumps, some lithium battery pumps. And how I got onto that subject, I'm going to be doing the review of this large generator, and that'll be probably within the next 2 weeks. It'll be published. So what other products, any other products in particular that you would like to hear me talk about? Are there any products that you're considering that you would love to see a demonstration of it, or maybe I can get my hands on one and give it a test? Let me know. I mean, I've done Shisei internal pumps. I've done the Expertmatic pumps. I've done the Co-op heaters. I've did the Co-op lights. I've been doing a fair amount of product reviews, but I'm always willing to do more. So let me know. Surf City Cichlids in the house. Congratulations, Ben. Best wishes. I think your product reviews are good, especially since you represent a lot of fish keepers with a few tanks, but not a fish room, and you like your tanks to show well. All right. Very good. Thank you. Yes. And I will tell you, even though they do send me the product, right, which you could say, well, wait a minute, is that kind of paying you off a little bit? Or in the case of the Aquarium Co-op, where I'm an affiliate and they pay me a percentage if people buy it, I always let these folks know that if there's something I don't like with the product, I'll say it. I'll say, look, I'm not going to hold back. I'm going to be honest about the product. Let's take the Aquarium Co-op light. Love that light. Love the fact, the easy way to control it. Love the look of it. Love the way it attaches to the tank with the expanding sides. The only thing I don't like about it is that it doesn't ramp up or ramp down. If he added ramp up and ramp down to that light, he'd have a perfect light. That would be like a perfect light. Because, man, it really does light up the tank. And I tell you, probably more important than anything is my plants are looking good. And so the light's got to be doing something. Now I've got the tabs in there, right? I've got the and I use the Easy Green pump, the liquid. So I've got other factors at work here, but I tell you, the plants are loving they're loving that light. And as a matter of fact, I'll show you. Let me see if I can turn this around and get the aquarium onto the frame. Now the jungle Val has, I think, the Buenos Aires tetras, or somebody is munching on it, because I'm finding little it's been kind of munched down a little bit, but everything else is looking good, and everything else actually is showing new growth. So there's new growth on the plants, and so that to me is a real good sign. Just a real good sign. A real good sign. So I'm happy with that light, but it needs a ramp up, I think. And then you'd have really pretty much a perfect light. Regarding the heaters that I did the review on, I can't say anything bad about those heaters. I'm loving those heaters. The big display, the easy up and down control on the cable. I'm loving those heaters. So I'm really liking those. Sun canisters. Now, what would you like me to talk about? I have a whole playlist. On Sun canisters. And you could probably find everything you can imagine in that playlist, but I'm always willing to take another angle on the Sun canister. What would you like to see me talk about regarding a Sun canister? And there's lots of angles we can go on, right? We can go on getting them to run quietly, maintenance and cleaning, using a pre-filter, what to put in the baskets, how to fill the baskets, the best way, the best order to fill the baskets, servicing the impeller. I mean, there's lots of different angles I can go on with the Sun canister. And there's a little bit of all of that already in the Sun canister playlist. But I'm totally willing to take another shot at it because I happen to like Sun canisters. And you know, I mean, my Fluval is a great canister. I can't seem to get the micro bubbling to stop. I mean, I've been messing around with it a little bit and shutting down the output a little bit. That's some advice someone gave me, but it's producing a little bit of micro bubbles. I'm not getting that with my old Sun. That old Sun was sitting around for a year and a half. You know, I lubed up the O-rings and cleaned it up and filled it up with media, plugged it in, and business as usual. You don't even know it's on from the sound. You have to like touch it to make, you know, and from the output, right? But it's just a great canister. So yeah, let me know what would you want me to talk about regarding Sun canisters, because I've certainly said a lot. And a lot about them. I'm cruising the chat here. Hey, Paul Newman in the house. Hey, Daniel Barrett. Good to see you, my friend. Let me see there. Kay Ferrara in the house. Thank you, Kay. That's very sweet of you. I'm blushing right now. I don't know if you can tell. Kenji 23 is gonna put me on the spot. Now, first of all, I wouldn't talk about this in front of the other fish because, of course, it could hurt their feelings. So, but I don't know. I mean, you know, you have a certain amount of love for different fish for different reasons. I mean, right now, believe it or not, I'm getting a big kick out of that twig catfish, the whiptail, the armored catfish. I mean, I just love watching. Right now, he's in the very front of that planted tank, working his way across the bottom, and I'm just I'm having so much fun with that twig catfish. I love the schooling fish. I love the way the rasboras are schooling. I'm nuts about this vieja. Here, it just happens to be right at the front. Let me see if I can catch this vieja. Hold on. I'm loving that Vieja. And of course the Oscar off to the right there, and that Salvini is just nuts. But you know, who knew that I'd be so crazy about the South and Central Americans, right? Look at that albino, just crazy looking. Albino red tiger. Those fish are all from the cichlid shack. But that Vieja's got to be pushing 10 plus inches. And I'm just really enjoying that guy. So, so I don't know. I don't know if I can give you an answer. I mean, then we got these guys back here. I mean, this Autopharynx tetrastigma. I mean, I love that guy for the fact that he survived 3 times. He was on death's doorstep and came back. The trout. I mean, how can you not love a fish like that? I mean, the guy's just a big giant goofball. Same thing with the sand diver, just a big water pup. And then just recently, look at this hawk. Look at the face on that guy. And recently, this Fusco's been like really going after my finger. He was never like that before. He was always kind of shy, and I understood it because when you put a cichlid, especially a Nimbochromis cichlid, in a tank, and there's 2 other Nimbochromis in there, right? The Livingstoni and the Venusus. You know, immediately he's in a subdominant situation, and so he was very, very shy. And just recently, he's really coming on to his own. So I don't know. I really don't know. I couldn't get, if someone said, okay, Ben, you can only keep 1 of your fish, all your other fish have to go. I don't know. I don't know what I would do. I think the person making me do that would probably disappear for some reason and never be seen again. All right, let's see here. Bass Life 21. Bass Life 21, is that name because you fish for bass, or do you keep bass? And my son and I love to fish for smallmouth here in Tennessee. We have some great streams, and I just discovered a lake I didn't even know was next to me, about 10 minutes from my door. And interestingly enough, appropriately enough, it's called Hidden Lake. And you hike into it, and there it is. It's absolutely gorgeous. And had turtles that were this big sunning on a rock. Anyway, my son, when my son comes back, we're going to be from Florida. We're going to be definitely going there. Alex says, Alex's Quality Goldfish says that suns are the best. And, you know, that's a great way to open up an argument. Hey, James in the house from the Cichlid Shack. Did you catch the shout out there, buddy? And let's see, Todd River Aquatics. If you have any questions about the shack and using the Shack Attack 15 and 15% off on fish, Shack Attack 15, or you can use the flat rate shipping code that is available as well. So James is in the house. You can ask him a question directly. Pop up cichlids and beer. Woo woo. Hey, Whips World. Maybe you came late, but I'm not drinking beer tonight. I'm actually drinking root beer over ice. So don't think I'm putting ice in my beer. I know that would be sacrilege. I'm trying a low carb diet, and beer unfortunately has very high carbs. We'll see how long that diet lasts. Let's see, Jared Williams, 75 gallons sprung a small leak. Your thoughts on getting a 2x2x4 metal tank? What metal tank with pond liner to replace? Yeah, that would be my concern, is the is only being able to look down. Where is the crack? I mean, it's usually along the seam, right? It's usually along the seam, and if it's not too far down, you know, you can drain the tank below the leak if you have maybe 5 or 6 inches of water left, and just very carefully, ideally tape off, you know, some plastic so nothing goes in the water, and you can actually seal it. You can seal the seam, like right there on the fly, and just let it sit for 24 to 48 hours, and you should be good to go. I mean, you got to clean it out a little bit. Don't get between the sheets of glass. Just clean out some of the, you know, some of the surface. There's videos on YouTube on resealing a tank. Watch one of the tank reseal videos, and if the leak isn't too low, if the leak isn't too low, you can actually reseal a tank with fish in it if you're very, very careful. And that would be my first choice. Or go look for those big sales sometimes that Petco has, and get the tank replaced. In the meantime, I would put them, if the leak is real low, I would just run to Home Depot and pick up one of those big tubs. You know, you can pick up something like this. You can get something like this pretty inexpensively. You can see it's pretty big. You know, you put the lid on it, throw an air stone in there, put a heater, rest the heater on top of a rock or something so it's not touching the plastic, and put some of the filter media from your existing tank. You can keep the fish in there while you reseal your tank. So I always tell folks you should have an emergency 911 tub laying around. Always a good idea. All right, I am cruising the chat to see what you folks have to say. For those of you who arrived late, this was a last minute decision to have a live stream, only because I was just dying to just say thank you to all of you for getting me over the 50,000 and over the 10 million views. It's just awesome, and I can't thank you enough. Moderators, all of you who watch and sub, all of you who share the channel, and you know, the sponsors, Cichlid Shack, Expertmatic, the folks at the Aquarium Co-op, everybody that's helped me along the way. It's just been awesome, just very, very awesome, and I'm just very, very happy about it. So I couldn't wait till Saturday. So I'm like the kind of person, you ever buy a gift for somebody and it's like for their birthday, and their birthday's like in a week, but you're so excited, you go ahead and give them the gift right now. Go, no, here, you just, come on, just open it. I just want you to have it. Yep, waiting around is not my strong suit. So let's see here. Whips World, thank God for the clarification, Ben. I did miss the first half hour and thought we were going to have to revoke your man card. Do some people, I know in the world they drink warm beer. Do they drink, do some people put beer on ice? I can't even imagine it. It'd be like wine on ice. I mean, wouldn't make any sense to me. So, but yeah, I agree. KDA 480, thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. And hey, Davey Larson in the house, thank you. M&C Aquatics in the house. So I asked earlier, Central Alabama Cichlids. Love that name. Yep, big plastic tote from Walmart. There you go. You're reading my mind. By the way, I'm going to be giving a talk. I'm going to be giving a talk at the East Tennessee Aquatic Society. East Tennessee Aquatic Society. So if you folks are in East Tennessee or Central Tennessee and you'd like to come out and see me, The group, I think, is about a year old, and let me see here. And I was invited to speak, and so I'm going to go out there and entertain them for an hour. Hopefully they won't boo me off the stage. But you see here, I'll give you the exact East Tennessee Aquatic Association. East Tennessee Aquatic Association. And June 10th at 4 p.m. So June 10th, 4 p.m. And it's going to be at the Blunt Mansion Visitor Center. So come on out. And I'm going to try giving a talk. I used to give talks in business. I was a business workshop leader, and so but I've never gotten in front of people and spoke about fish. So it'll be very interesting. I'm sure I'll get the dry mouth and forget what I was going to say and go through all the things that speakers go through. So come on down. Don't bring any tomatoes. And all right. So let's see what you have to say. If you have any questions or any suggestions about the future, the direction you would like to see the channel go into, and I mentioned it earlier, I know some of you arrived late. Would you like to see more product reviews, more fish profiles, more aquarium maintenance videos, more videos about specific products like Sun canisters we talked about? Let me know, and I do review the chat after the live stream and pull out some gems. And you've probably noticed that from time to time I'm pulling shorts out of the live stream, and in some cases videos out of the live stream content. It's already filmed, I already have it, so why not? There's a 10-minute spot that looks good, I'll pull it out and post it as a video. Because some folks don't show up for the live streams because they see 1 hour and they go, oh, I don't have an hour. So they keep scrolling, but they'll watch a 10-minute video. So that's why you're seeing some of those videos show up after the live stream. I haven't shown you the 90-gallon. Let's look at the 90-gallon real quick. There it is. And that tank is doing well. It's, let me see if I can center it a little better. There we go. And what I'm thinking is that green tear, move that green tear out of there. Maybe bring over the chocolates, because the chocolates are showing a little damage on their tails. They might be a little bit too mellow for what I have in the 210 with that Salvini, the Firemouth, the Jack Dempsey. Maybe pull the chocolates out, put them in the 90, and move the green tear over to the 210. See how he does in there. But what do you think? I mean, for the most part, that 90 is doing well. I mean, the geos are just spectacular. That large electric blue Ochart is looking great. The silver dollars are beautiful. They got little speckles on their body. They just need they need more of them. I need like maybe 4 or 5, 6 silver dollars in there. The red shoulder on the far right there, coming up to the front now. You can see the red shoulder. He stopped picking on that. You see the gold severum is very cautious when the red shoulder comes around because he was harassing him so much. But that tank is getting along great. What direction do you think I should take with that tank? at some point, as you know, is considering turning it into a discus tank, and that's not completely off the table. That might still end up being a discus tank. And I think discus would probably do okay with the geos. Maybe I could leave the silver dollars in there. Maybe leave the electric blue cara in there. Maybe even the severums. They might get along with discus fish. All right, let me go ahead and come back over. All right, I think I got the right angle. All right, so what are your thoughts about that? Let me know. Let me know in the chat. I'm checking out the chat. Well, that's true, Whip's World. It is cichlids and suds. So root beer would qualify as suds. So all right, I like that. You could be a tax accountant. Finding loopholes. So, all right, let's see here. Luke's Aquatics in the house. Does anyone like watered down alcohol? No, it's horrible. I don't even like watered down. I don't like anything watered down. Let's see. M&C Aquatics in the house. M&C Aquatics, you know, I've had a lot of folks tell me that they either got into African cichlids or got back into them after watching the channel for a little bit, and makes me feel like I'm helping the African cichlid community. But you gotta have the right temperament, you know. You gotta have the right temperament for it, and I think I even have a video that talks about how African cichlids are not for everybody, because they can completely lose their minds. You can lose fish unexpectedly, like one evening to the next morning. There's reasons that make them a little bit hard, but the rewards, I mean, the size, the interaction, the color, the fearlessness makes them very, very rewarding. I love the way they come over and mess around with me. Some more than others. And you can definitely tell which ones are the dominant and which ones are the subdominant. All right, let's see. Easy E, Ben, I have a 75 gallon with 5 ruby green cichlids, 2 males, 3 females. What Africans would go with them, or not a good idea with there being females? Well, with females, you're going to have issues, I think. I mean, there's going to be, when you get into breeding behavior, it kind of changes everything. And so that's something to keep in mind. The, you might want to try some of the, when you say ruby green cichlids, do those cichlids go by another name? Just want to make sure we're talking about the right one, the same one. I mean, there's a red ruby that's a peacock, and there's a turquoise cichlid, which is very green. I just want to make sure we're talking about the same kind. Is it a peacock? Is it a peacock? I want to make sure you're not talking about a Mabuna. But, I mean, you could try putting in, let's say, 3 fish I wouldn't put 1 in because that would turn into a battle probably. You can try putting in 3 or 4. Turn off the lights, add them, hang around, watch them closely, make sure they're comparable in size, and it might be okay. It might be okay, but I'd really have to clarify what kind of fish exactly we're talking about. Faith Beyond 77, beautiful green tear. Yes, someone told me it's a male. Someone told me it's a male, and that green tear was from Brandon, the blind fish keeper. You can see him. You can find him on YouTube. Brandon, the blind fish keeper. A good friend and a good friend of Jerry at Jerry's Fish Room. One of my moderators who obviously is busy tonight, but love that green tear. I bought a very old. It was sort of like a rescue purchase. I bought this big old green tear that was at a local fish store. Someone had brought it in, and it was pretty much near the end of its life. And but I kept him comfortable, fed him well, and he ended up dying eventually. But boy, I just fell in love with that. Just that big, big chunky green tear. It was just absolutely beautiful. So I'm looking forward to watching this one, over the next few years. I think they can last. I think they can go 10 years. I think they can go 10 years. So take good care of them, feed them good food, good quality, good clean cichlid food. Don't stress them out too much, and you'll get a full lifespan out of them. All right, let's see here. That electric blue Ochart, DJ Sus, that electric blue Ochart is gotta be 5 to 6 inches. It's one of the biggest electric blue Ocharts I've ever seen. And a friend of mine here in Nashville was moving and had that, and he had the whiptail cat. He had all of the plecos that I'm growing out, and he just said, "You want to come over and get them?" And I think he brought me that one. But love that fish. I heard they get along okay with other ones. So at some point, he's so mellow and so happy that I'm not even sure if I want to mess with things. But maybe he would enjoy having a few more in there with him. And nobody messes with them. Nobody messes with them. The green tear doesn't mess with them. The Severums and Geos leave them alone. It's just a big lumbering goofball, but really pretty. Hey, James, if you're still on here, Central Alabama Cichlids needs an Autopharynx tetrastigma, but it's got to look like Ben's. Well, this one's from the shack. This one's from the shack. And if he doesn't have an Autopharynx tetrastigma, take a serious look at an intermedius. Sometimes they're confused, but they're different in the slope of the head, but the colors are very, very close. So if he doesn't have the Autopharynx, check out the intermedius. Last time I was at the shack, the intermedius that he was carrying, they were beautiful, shockingly beautiful. And don't forget, Shack Attack 15 on orders over $100, and does not apply to shipping. You have to pay the shipping yourself, but 15% off the order if it's over $100. Craig Boderick, well done on the 50K. Thank you, my friend, from Melbourne, Australia. I appreciate that. What time is it out there in Melbourne? I know it's summer, right? All right, let's see. I'm going through the chat here. Fernando Entrialgo. Thank you, my friend. Greetings from Mexico. Thank you. I appreciate that. Central Alabama cichlids. I have 3 tetrastigma females. Whoa. Okay. Okay. Man, if you can breed and get some tetras stigma, autopharynx, some fry, man, I think every local fish store around you and every fish keeper that keeps cichlids is going to want some. Those are beautiful fish. 12:50 p.m. Wow, very cool. I appreciate you stepping by. Thursday, 12:50 p.m. You keep hours like me. Oh, Jerry Kinnear. Hey, everyone. Hope all is good. Thank you, Jerry. Glad to have you here. And as you can see, I'm going through the chat backwards here. DJ Seuss, congratulations from Virginia. You're not that far. I think I can be in Virginia in not that many hours. Beautiful state. I have been there before. Okay, so if you have any questions for me, go ahead and shoot them. And any suggestions about where you would like to see the channel go, now's the time. Lumpy Dog wants to see the live bear tank. It is, I don't know if you can see it from this angle. Let's give it a shot. It's doing well. Hold on. There it is. I've been harvesting the water sprite, and there's probably 10 fry hiding in the water sprite and below the that bubble bar in the back. You know what really surprised me, and maybe it's because I haven't used them that often, but that bubble, that sponge filter that I have in there, in the back corner, when I pull that thing out and rinse it, it is absolutely filthy. I was completely surprised that a sponge filter would be that effective at removing waste from the aquarium. I mean, it is just gross. But I've harvested probably 6 or 7 cuttings from the Sprite, and I've dropped them into the betta tank and into the 55-gallon planted tank. You can see the little the platies are doing great, and there's a couple babies in there that grew out. The real teeny ones, the Mickey Mouses, those were born in the tank. And then when I move the guppies over, it's gonna be crazy in there. There's the betta tank. Little hard to see there in the distance, but that red velvet betta is just gorgeous. And there's that candy colored one on the right. And there is a loach with that betta on the right. I'm going to get 3 more loaches and put them in there, little coolie loaches. Someday what I'll do is I'll have I'll get a hold of 3 or 4 high quality cameras and then just have them already set up on each tank and be able to just flip a switch and go to camera 1, camera 2, and it'll be a lot easier than having to get up and move the cameras around, but I don't mind. So let's see here. I'm back into the chat. Cichlid frondosa guy, are those live plants behind you? What is the name? Are you talking about this big beast of a plant here? If you're talking about that one is an artificial plant from Elite Cichlids, a company that unfortunately is no longer around. Otherwise, the other ones, the live bear tank, those are live. Patrick Gregory Daniels, thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. And maybe this is a better time for you to come to the live streams. I haven't seen you in the Saturday ones, but I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. It's very nice of you. DJ says, quoting Billy Joel. Love that song. Love that song. Don't go change it. All right. All right, so I'm cruising the chat here. James, can you get Prognathochromis? Man, I can't even pronounce that. Remik Dulik. Sorry to bother you. My water tests show high on nitrates, but fish act normal. Always hungry. I'm new to this about 2 months. Do weekly water changes about 15 to 30%. Well, Remik, tell me what are you calling high? And I mean, for me, high is over 100 parts per million. That to me would be, oh man, I'm really behind on my maintenance. I got to get on it. And the fish are still not showing distress. That being said, I don't let it get there. But I have had times where the tank has gone between 40 and 80 parts per million. Normally these tanks are between 20 and 40. And but what are you calling high nitrates? Let me know, because you might be concerned about something that you don't need to be concerned about. Especially if that fish look good. And that really is your, we have test kits. We have test kits. We have, we have our routines. We have things that we do. But I'll tell you, nothing, in my opinion, it's just one man's opinion, nothing's better than your direct observation of the aquarium. What are you seeing? What are your own 2 eyes telling you? And if those fish are eating and they're colorful and their fins are spread out and they're breeding and they're occasionally chasing each other the way cichlids do, but not going crazy, and your nitrates are at 50, don't sweat it. Don't drive yourself crazy. Do a water change, within a few days, maybe I wouldn't go longer than a week, but don't worry too much. Now, your fish are looking odd. They're lethargic. They're hanging out in the back. The fins are clamped. They're not eating. They're not interacting with you or each other. Some of them look dull. Their eyes look a little foggy. Maybe. I don't care what the nitrates are. I'm going to dig in. I'm going to do full water testing. I'm going to do a water change. I might actually, something's wrong. Something's really wrong. So your own 2 eyes are your first and probably most reliable test, followed very closely by test kits. And that's just my opinion. And yeah, there you go. Whip Swirl said it. I mean, zero ammonia, zero nitrite, no question, zero. You're still going to have some in there. There's always some. The fish are always releasing ammonia. There's always some in there, but zero on detectable. So it's a safe level. The nitrates, and I think I did a video on asking if it's truly dangerous, or are we being sold an idea because somebody wants to make a lot of money with water conditioners. If I can get you, instead of once a month, to change your water 4 times a month, you're going to buy 4 times more water conditioner from me. So if I can start promoting that you should have 10 parts per million nitrates, and otherwise you're a bad fish keeper. I'm telling you, this tank right now, this tank is probably sitting at around 30 to somewhere between 30 and 50 parts per million. I mean, how do they look to you? I mean, do you look distressed? Now, you can maybe make a case and go, well, they're not going to live as long. They're not going to be as likely to breed. They're surviving, but they're not thriving. You hear this kind of stuff. And again, I don't know. Is that true? Or is it anecdotal? Is it science? Is it something promoted by water conditioning companies? So, and I think throughout my career on Facebook, I've become kind of the contrarian on some of this stuff, you know, and maybe some of the companies that sell those products don't like me. I mean, I talk about sponge filters being, you know, like good quality sponges, like the kind you get from Swiss Tropicals. They're not a sponsor of this channel, but that kind of a quality sponge, I think, can give you as good a result as any expensive media out there. And so the folks that make expensive media don't like me saying that. And I like them and I like their products. I use some of their products, but I still stick by that you can go with sponges, good quality sponges. And if that was all you had in your canister, all you had in your hang-on by, all you have in your sump, you'd be fine. You'd have lots of beneficial bacteria, and the beneficial bacteria that isn't populating there is going to be populating your substrate, your decor, and everywhere else. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. You'll still have as much beneficial bacteria as the waste of your tank can feed and support. So there you go. So at any rate, Remek Dulik, your parts per million are between 10 and 20? Yeah, you don't have to worry, my friend. Your nitrates are a complete and total non-issue. Like Whip World says, they're perfect. M&C Aquatics, exactly. Most of my tanks are over 80 parts per million nitrates. Fish are breeding, happy. Same with the tank. They're over 100. Don't stress it. Don't start chasing numbers. Now, I'll tell you, every time you do a water change, you can't help it. You stress the fish. You risk a mistake. You know, a big pH shift. You didn't match temp. You forgot to condition. I mean, you risk making a mistake. So probably the less you mess with it, the better, right? And so now I'm not advocating high nitrates. And if you can create a schedule for yourself that a schedule for yourself that allows you to maintain the tank, keep it between 10 and 20. Hey, do it. Do it. And certainly there's some fish like discus, even though some of the current lines of discus are supposed to be more hardy, but sometimes those are reported to really need as close to zero in nitrates as possible. So, got to use common sense with it. M&C Aquatics, once you start chasing numbers, you just make things worse. Yep. You see that with pH. People start using chemical additives for pH, or some people use an RO system. They strip the water of everything. Then they have to dose the correct percentages of minerals. And you're just adding a bit of complexity that could result in mistakes, problems, or whatever. If you're doing it and it's working for you, hey, more power to you. I think if it's working for you, that's the way to go. Central Alabama cichlids. I'm supposed to be changing water in my Jala Reef grow out tank, but I'm watching this stream instead. Well, Jala Reef are beautiful fish. Tell them I'm sorry, and I'm sure you're going to get to it. All right. DD Aquarium. Yes, it depends on how much you're feeding. And it is, as I'm fond of saying, a fluid situation. The fish get bigger, they need more food, you're still on the same filtration, the same maintenance schedule, and all of a sudden you notice that your nitrates are creeping up. Let me tell you, I'm feeding these guys, all of these fish are getting probably 50% more food than they were getting 6 months ago, just because of the size. In the 210, the Oscars are just complete hogs, and that big vieja needs food, needs a lot of food, so I've got to throw it in there, and to make sure it gets past the Oscars and gets down to the vieja. And of course the other fish, the Salvini and the other ones are very tenacious eaters. So I'm feeding these guys a lot. And that's going to create a lot of ammonia. And that's going to require more water changes and more maintenance. So again, it's always changing, always changing. Central Alabama cichlids. Ben, did you see my fluid situation suggestion? Scroll up. I'm scrolling up. Scrolling. All right, I'm scrolling, but I can't see it. It might be my bad eyes. Why don't you just tell me? Just go ahead and tell me. Queendom Come. What a great name. Queendom Come. Thank you for that. And Remec, I feed my fish twice a day. Sometimes I'll miss a feeding, and I think that's okay because they can kind of clean out a little bit. I really try not to miss a feeding for the small guys, like the little fry, because they will expire very quickly without food. Super high metabolism, and but the African cichlids, I might skip a day, especially if the day before I gave them a very heavy protein treat like frozen krill. I do include vegetables like Sarah, granu-green, things like that. I'll include that in with both my South Americans, Central Americans, and Africans, just to give them a little veggie to help the intestines kind of clean out. And they do get, South and Centrals get bloodworms at least once a week, and the African cichlids get frozen krill at least once a week. Fish tank monsters. Ben, scroll up about seamless sumps. That I hate and regret spending a lot of money on. That was a waste. Seamless sumps. Mike McGinnis, I do have a video on vacuuming sand versus gravel. I'd be happy to do another one. And when I don't vacuum my sand tanks, they don't need vacuuming. The water flow sort of flushes the waste towards the filter intakes. But the 210 with the rock bottom that it has sort of like a river rock bottom. I've got to vacuum that one, and when I do, it's disgusting. The black junk that comes out of there. But yeah, maybe I'll do another one on vacuuming. All right. Now, I'm sorry if I missed some of your comments and questions. I can't be looking at the chat continuously, but I'm going back to see if I can catch the ones that you mentioned. Central Alabama cichlids. Oh, here it is. How about a YouTube short series called It's a Fluid Situation, where you try and explain topics that have a wide range of answers that depend on an individual situation, and you have 60 seconds. You know the most popular, and maybe this is because of the TikTok mentality, the most popular shorts are around 6 seconds. You believe that? 6 seconds. But that would be an interesting challenge. I might take you up on that. It's a fluid situation series. Talk about all the moving parts involved in an aquarium. One of the most common ones, of course, is off that question: how many fish can I put in a 20-gallon, 50, 125, whatever, right? And it's like, okay, well, what kind of fish are you going to put in it? What size are they now? What size are they going to be in a year and a half? You know, if it's a 125, yes, you can put 6 little Oscars in it. But probably in about a year and a half, you're going to want to probably get rid of 4 of them. So, or you're going to be doing big water changes and lots of vacuuming, because it is a fluid situation. Hey, Eddie Mendoza. Thank you for that, my friend. Now, did I miss any super chats? Go through here. If I did, I'm sorry. For those of you who would like to support the channel, super chats are a good way to do it. Salient Aquatics. Thank you, Salient Aquatics, for that super chat. Also, if you shop on Amazon, use amazon.com/shop/Ben Ochart if you go to Amazon, and that'll support the channel. Whether you buy something from my store or from anywhere on Amazon, it supports the channel. Also, if you'd like coffee mugs, t-shirts, and things like that with the channel logo, go to my Teespring store. And all of these links, or if you're on a PC, on a laptop, all those links are underneath the banner of the channel. So that being said, we're 15 minutes into the 8 o'clock hour Central. I think Primetime Aquatics might be live. So if he is, get on over, go check out Jason Adams. He's the real deal. I encourage you to watch his live stream as well. All right. So thank you, my friends, for tuning in. Thank you so much for the support that got the channel over 50,000 and over 10 million views. You folks really do rock. I am so blessed and so appreciative of all of you. Thank you to my wonderful moderators. Thank you, Cichlid Shack. Thank you, Aquarium Co-op, and all the rest of you that have supported me over the last 2 years. It has been so much fun. And that's it for now. Thank you, my friends. I will see you on Saturday at the usual 11 a.m. Central. That's noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.